See, he did damage to himself. He did damage. And he bragged to his friends, he bragged to his girlfriend that he was going to do this and he was going to do that. And he couldn't do it. Now he has that. He's wrestling with that. And now because he didn't do it successfully, like he walked out and thought he was going to be able to do it, he's doubting. And doubt in a hurt, bruised pride in a man, that's dangerous. It'll make you do stupid shit. It'll make you do dumb stuff. So most of today, it was me just cleaning those wounds, reminding him that that's normal. Dad went through that. I did all that stuff. I did all that stuff and worse. And there was nobody here telling me this is how you fix it. So I was trying to find my way through it all and making it longer than it has to be. And it's painful. So when I talk to you and I make these conversations available to you, it's for your edification. It's so that you don't go through it like I did. So that way you can avoid it and appreciate that. You know what? I don't want to make those mistakes. I'm glad ICT went through it. I'm sorry he went through it, but I'm glad he went through it and he's telling me how I don't have to go through that. That's the wisdom in the student that's listening to me. Not this guy talks and he likes to hear himself talk. No, I don't give a fuck if that's how you think. Get the fuck out of here. You're not somebody that wants to learn. You're a clown. You will be broke. You will be working the rest of your fucking life. You will not be able to be profitable as a trader. So just get the fucking stepping. The people that really want to be here and make themselves a profitable student that trades and earns their own money, they want to know how they're possibly going to mess it up. And I'm not going to talk to you always in a refined manner. I'm live. I don't have a filter right now. So I'm going to feel the impulses and the emotional charge that I remember going through. It's all real stuff for me. I went through this stuff and it was painful. And it's painful to remember what it was like for me. And I know that some of you are going through it right now. And it's normal. And you can get through it. You can grow out of it. Use it like rocket fuel. It'll be the deterrent to never doing those same things again because you know what it's done to you. You don't want to relive that. You have now a reason to appreciate the rattlesnake that those circumstances provide. You know, walking into that situation again, it's like a rattlesnake's tail just shaking. You don't need to go back in there again. You know what it's like. So avoid it. Don't try to push and make money in those situations. Just relax. Take the day off. Take the session off. Don't do it. But ICT, I'm supposed to be an everyday trader. Who the hell said that? It wasn't me. So having a very, very low expectation of yourself. Yes, 5 handles is a wonderful target. Realistic target. In the beginning, if you're absolutely scared to death, if you're scared to death of taking trades and you don't want to get into a trade because you're just afraid to do it, feel what it's like to desensitize yourself to go in and execute and put a limit order on 1 handle. Put a trade on. If it runs up 1 handle, it will close the trade out, and that's 1 handle. It's $50. It's not a lot of money. And if you do this over and over and over again with a demo account, you will get over the fear of entering. Then you add 1 more handle to it. Put on an entry, reach for 2. And you'll see, even with static price action, if you know where the market's likely to go, doesn't mean you're right. This means that this is the next draw on liquidity. This is where the obvious equal highs are. This is where they haven't been all day. Let's aim in that direction. And then put a trade on and try to go for 1 handle. And do that all day long, working with a 1-minute chart. It's not about how much drawdown you have. Don't worry about that, because if you're trying to measure that, you need to get into the pushing of the button and just looking for a small transaction. That's it. Over time, by gradually working into 1 more handle, up to 5, you'll completely desensitize yourself to the outcome. It won't matter to you because you've done it so many times, you're bored by it. You don't care. But think about what you're doing with your demo account right now. Think about what you're doing with your combine challenges. You're gambling. You're literally gambling. The whole time you're doing it, you're scared. You're anxious. You're hoping and praying you can get that certificate that says you're funded, because you can't wait to go on social media and show it. But you're never going to show anything after that, because chances are you probably will blow it when you get to the funded level. Nobody will see your payouts, certificates or confirmations, but you did something. You showed the world that you got funded. You passed the combine. I don't want any of my students thinking that's a success story. That's not. That's just, okay, you showed up to the dance, now dance. All these certificates, they're wonderful little hurdles for you to get across in the beginning. I'm not trying to minimize that. If you've never done it, wonderful, that's where you're going to go. But you have to have some kind of vision beyond that. What are you going to do once you are funded? Because chances are you're not really responsible. You're not organized. Unless you're thinking like I'm trying to suggest to you in my teachings and lectures and here tonight. You have to have some measure of controlling yourself and thinking about things correctly. Don't just go in impulsively try to execute. My son, my own DNA, flesh and blood, there was no magic because he came from the fruit of my loins. Okay, there was no mystical, magical powers transferred to him. He did like anybody else would. Do the wrong shit. Well, here's your results. Impulsively tried to do something he wasn't ready to do. And now he has the mental baggage from it that I told him, and I tell all of you how you can avoid all that. So now he has to wrestle through all of that pride, that bruised ego, and concerned about what if he doesn't really still learn how to do it. You have no idea the impact that has on a person, especially a male. We are performance oriented, from sexuality to physical appearance to workplace, sports. We are all about measuring. It's all it is. It's measuring. And ladies don't think that way. And that's why they're better traders. So if you cause the damage in your psyche early on, you will carry that the rest of your career. You might become better at coping with it, but it never goes away. It'll always be that little limp, that little crick in your back, that little bum knee sensation you get when it rains. It'll always be there. When you do certain trades, it'll jog your memory of it. And then while you're in a trade, you'll be thinking about, man, that was a dumb trade. Is this going to be like one of those again? Are you focusing on that trade? Or are you worrying about and reliving and having a flashback moment and having a PTSD episode? As soon as you lose sight of your trade, in the beginning, not 30 years later, but in the beginning, as soon as you lose focus and you start having your attention somewhere else, close the trade. You've lost the plot. Oh, this guy just said close. You need to reward yourself for being disciplined. Discipline is not taught. You can't buy it in a course. You can't read it in a book and acquire it. You can't have a 5-minute trainer or Cliff Notes edition of anything, my stuff or anyone else's, and get discipline. It's forged through pain, struggle, and finding the outcome that is favorable that you couldn't identify or see at the time. And because over time you do these types of things, and you know what it was like to be going through it painfully, doing things that you shouldn't do, taking on more risk, taking on more contracts, because I know what you're thinking. It's the same thing that I've talked about, and my son lived it. They will tell you that you can trade up to 15 contracts if you use a $150,000 account. Sure. Sure, you can do that. And you're thinking, well, it's worth the risk. It's like a lottery scratch off. It only cost whatever it was. I don't even know what they cost to get the combine started. But what happens if it works, man? It's like a big shortcut, because if I can get the funded, something magical is going to happen. I'll learn how to trade then. It sounds funny, and probably some of you are laughing at you. That's exactly what you were thinking too. As long as I got to the funded part, then I'll know what I'm going to do. I'll pick the right trades then. I'm in a hurry. I just want to get through that first stage. And these funded companies are loving that. They're making lots of money with reset fees. You can do this, but you have to change how you think. You have to lower your expectations, and that's not a bad thing. Trade with one contract. Trade with one contract. And I promise you, this is what you're going to have happen. You're going to use one contract. You're still going to trade impulsively. You're still going to get in there because you want to have something good happen. And then you're going to go into drawdown. And that one contract, you'll have 3 handles, becomes 7 handles, drawdown. Stop. You can afford to trade more because the max loss day, whatever it may be, you're not there yet. Still, stop. Can you stop? 99% of you won't. That's a problem. That is a problem. Because if you can't control yourself and say, you know what? I can stop right now and I'll come back tomorrow. Even if this does move where I thought I was going to go today, or if it moves even way beyond that, it doesn't matter because you weren't in that trade, so you can't regret it. You weren't in that trade, so you can't regret it. You have to start somewhere, forging discipline, being self-responsible, and that way you know that you can control yourself in the future and you can trust yourself. Because what you're doing, and you don't realize it, you're pushing the button in these instances with a demo account or in a combine because you know that you wouldn't be losing that money. If it's wrong, that money is not coming out of your bank account. It's not coming out of your live equity. So it gives you this false sense of security. And it's also, it feels like you have all upside, no downside, but you still have to pay for a reset. And you're paying in time. You're wasting time instead of just doing it the right way. Every one of these combines, every single one of them, all of you could do it in a month. All of you could do it in a month. But all of you want to do it in the minimum time. All of you want to do it in some guy's challenge on YouTube. Do it in this amount of time. How about make $5 million after taxes? Let's talk real money. Okay, stop with the Mickey Mouse shit. All these challenges, do this and do that. No. I'm teaching you how to be the best trader that you can be. And if you want to listen to other people tell you shit, you're welcome to do that. But that combine, whatever company you're using, every single one of them are Mickey Mouse level easy. They collectively understand that you are going to do what I've been talking about in this entire Twitter space tonight. You're going to be reckless. You're going to be impatient. You want to just get through that first step, that unprofitable, unfunded challenge, that contest. Who are you competing against? You are. You are competing with yourself. And when you blow it, who'd you lose to? You. So it doesn't make sense to figure out what the fuck you're doing wrong. And that's why I talk like this. That's why I talk about the things outside of the concept in a video. You think I'm talking about dumb shit. I saw a guy on one of the dudes that take my Twitter spaces, and it'll be in YouTube. He does it. The comment section of some goober. If you want to make money, or if you want to have more people watch your videos, you can cut the bullshit out and just get to the trading parts. Dude, you're listening to this. You are absolutely fucking doomed. You're never going to make any money. The fact that you don't want to listen to someone that has gone through it, figured out how to fix it, and has taught other people how to do it, and they're making fortunes because they have adjusted and did these things in their own trading. There is no shortcut. There's no way around these things. Whether you are met with it right now or in the future, every single one of you will come across this bridge in the road, and either you stop trading because these things are going to be in front of you, these problems that every trader has, or you learn how to deal with it on an individual basis. Like, you are going to wrestle with things that the next person isn't, but it's all the same things: uncertainty, performance anxiety, rushing, not being organized. And the top of the list, unrealistic expectations. My son went into it thinking, I'm ICT's son. It's going to be easy like a video game. I could be able to tell my dad, this is what I did. Bada bing, bada boom, it's done. Yeah, bada bing, bada boom, you got your ass done. It's over. Now you got to fix it. But now you have it harder because you have to fix all of that negative thinking. You got to cope with that now, which makes everything exponentially harder, but not impossible, but much, much harder. And when I talk to you this way, and most of this stuff is designed for my kids, I'm telling them how to avoid all these things. And 2 of my boys now have tasted this shit. Cody thought he was going to whip crypto's ass, and it whipped his ass. I told him to stay away from it, didn't listen. Okay. He's not trying to trade. He's sour by it. Doesn't want to talk about it. Doesn't care. Okay, I get it. He wants to be the owner of his stepfather's business. He thinks he's going to be passed on to him. I don't think that's going to happen. But he's an adult. Let him do what he wants to do.